Well, hello, all you lovely people. Welcome to another Vinyl Thoughts. Today, I'm not only going to talk about a record, I'm going to talk a little bit about my philosophy as a vinyl collector. So, because I am active on social media and I see a lot of other vinyl collectors out there, I realize that one thing that sort of sets me apart from some of them is the fact that I am not interested in just amassing a large collection of whatever vinyl. I see a lot of people do shit like buy entire boxes of vinyl where they don't even know what's in it, or just buy these random weird albums at record stores, and it's all just part of building their collection. And that's fine, to each their own. But my vinyl collection journey has mostly just been about me wanting to get my favorite albums on vinyl because I enjoy listening to them in that format. And it has also led to me building a love of what the vinyl experience was in the 70s and the 80s, and kind of getting those little pieces of history. But it all revolves around music that I enjoy and bands that I want to collect and whatnot. And occasionally there are albums that I would love to have, but it's really hard to get a hold of them. Even through Discogs, which is kind of my vinyl shopping outlet of choice, you got to fork over a large amount of money. And even if it's slightly affordable, sometimes it's from overseas and sometimes the shipping is ridiculous. So there are a large amount of albums that are kind of over here on the side that are like my, maybe one day I'll get this, but right now it's not realistic. And then occasionally you'll find somebody on Discogs that posts an album for sale, but the album has issues. Sometimes the cover's fucked up, sometimes there's scratches on the record, sometimes the printed inner sleeve is missing, and I sort of just look through, like, what are the issues with this? Do I really care about this particular issue? Is the issue actually going to be as bad as they say it is? And in the grand scheme of things, are those issues something that is keeping me from wanting to add this to my collection? And sometimes the answer is, no, I'm totally cool with this. And that brings us to today's vinyl. Today we're going to be talking about the second album from the Corpus Christi thrash band, Devastation. So, this album, let's just talk about the music on this album first off. Devastation are a fucking fast and heavy band. And this album is an unrelenting, brutal thrash classic. From the moment the stylus hits the vinyl, you are bombarded with nothing but speed and riffs and aggression. It just doesn't let up, and it is fucking enjoyable as hell. Not to mention the band are tight as fuck, so all of this speed and aggression and craziness is very well executed. So this album was released in 1989, and this is actually a 1989 pressing of this album. Now, obviously, the cover's fucked up, and look at the back cover. Holy fuck. What the fuck happened here? So when it was listed on Discogs, they clearly explained that there was water damage and the cover and back cover were ripped, but the vinyl was in good shape. And I was like, well, shit. I mean, in the end, I'm buying this shit because I want to listen to it on vinyl. So fuck it, I'll pay, I don't remember what this was, $15, I think. So I'm like, all right, I'll take a chance and I'll order this fucking record. And this is how it came. So, you can't see Signs of Life, which is the name of the album, at the bottom. You can see most of the cover art, and you can't really tell, but it is a little bit warped. And then on the back, unfortunately, there's some tears over the faces and at the bottom. And so when you take the album out of the sleeve itself is in pretty damn good shape. You can't really tell, but there is some waviness from some water damage, and it's a little yellowed, but for the most part, it's not that bad. And then you get out the vinyl, and look at that. It is in fucking great shape, that good old Combat Records logo. And so when it came down to it, I got this thing and I was like, well, shit, this album fucking rules. And now I own it. So more about the album. So it is their second of 3 albums that Devastation released. And it is, in my opinion, the best. You could probably make an argument for their first or their third being better in different ways. But I think Signs of Life is kind of where they nailed it. And to put it into context for those of you who don't know what they sound like, it's a little more in line with what the German thrash metal bands were doing at around that time. It's very aggressive, very brutal, but technically fucking amazing. So when it comes down to it, I want this album in my collection. Does the damage that was done to the album cover really bother me that much? The short answer is no, it doesn't. The long answer is I love album art. And especially an album like this, those great 80s thrash metal albums that have the great, painted or drawn artwork. I just love those things. So there's a part of me that goes, yeah, I'm kind of bummed that this classic album cover is kind of fucked up. But really, when I sort of think about how I feel about the album as a whole, I'm just glad that it has a home with me. It's like, what? There's a very loyal dog who happens to have been mistreated and is a little bit ugly, but are you not going to give that dog some love and take him into your home? Of course you are. So that's what I'm doing. I'm basically bringing this mistreated album into my home, keeping it safe for the rest of my life. Hopefully later, who the fuck knows what my daughter's going to do with my records when I die. But hopefully she's still spinning this thing, and maybe it's even more meaningful that it's maintained at least this level of quality from when it was released in 1989. All right. All rambling aside, Devastation, Signs of Life, killer fucking album. Go check it out. It's out there for you to listen to. They're an amazing band. They're from my home state of Texas, so they're even more important to me. And yeah, that's all I really have to say about this one today. Put your comments down below. How do you feel about getting some slightly damaged vinyl of an album that you love? Or how do you feel as a vinyl collector if you are one? Like, do you want to amass a shitload of records no matter what they are? Or do you pick and choose like I do? Either way, you're not wrong. I'm not wrong. This is just the vinyl collection community, and you know what? It's pretty fucking great, and I'm glad that there's so many out there doing this. Anyway, that's all I have for today. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all again very soon.